Because I'm on mute. That's why. Okay, take two. This is why we do this. Woo! Okay. Are you, okay. All right. Whoo! Yay. See? All right. Good. Good. Yes, this is why we do this. This is why we do. This is why there is the test run before the Liliac post-concert run. All right. So, yay. It's working, and now it is going out to the world a little better than it was before. Troy Stewart, I know that you're on. And I was going to say it's good to see you, but I don't see you. It's good to be seen. So thank you for being here and all your fantastic support and your fun comments and all of that. Very cool. That is completely up to you. We'll probably be here either in kind of planning for an hour. We'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I can, yeah, who shows up and what there is to talk about for an hour. Although knowing myself, I can probably maintain a conversation about something for an hour. But that could get scary. I have caffeine, so I'm ready to go. Oh, and we can start by saying that the Liliac, so we're going to be doing a live stream. So this is the sort of, testing the equipment and reminding ourselves that not having mute on is a good idea. The Liliac live stream or post Liliac concert is going to be Saturday, March 19th at 7 p.m. Central Time. So that's again 5 o'clock Pacific and 8 o'clock Eastern. Nobody ever talks about Mountain Time. It's like a lost time zone. Anyway, so the concert in Minnesota is going to be March 18th on Friday. It's going to be a little late for us to come back and do a live stream. So, especially for the American audience. So that will be happening. So we have a time. That's the plan. Yeah. So come back for that. And oh, Basil, hi! Yay! Good to see you. Happy work day. Where it's warm and friendly. It's not warm and friendly in Minnesota. It's cold, and we had like an ice storm kind of sort of yesterday. It was a pretty mild ice storm compared to what they thought we were going to have, but it's still cold outside and windy and icky, and I'd rather be in 70 or 80 degree weather.
Troy Stewart asks, what's the significance of Grover?
Oh, Grover, that's a good question. I don't have a great answer for that. So actually, Grover was a gift from my sister years ago. And I have always been a Grover fan. I had my Grover Monster record, and was it the Grover Monster record? It was a white album. Grover was on it. I listened to that one a lot. That one and the Monsters album. So she gave me Grover. I mean, I was like an adult when she gave me Grover. So this wasn't like a childhood thing. This is like a 30, 25-year-old thing. And he's just always kind of had a place in my space. So it just felt appropriate to move him to my office. And then he just became a kind of a background for video stuff. And so then it got to be fun to move him around in the shelf and have him, watching the videos with me. Then I don't feel so alone on my end. So that's, yeah, I like Grover. What's the Grover song? I Grover. We did an I Grover song. So we've at least got one video of a Grover song, which isn't really a video because it's more of an audio with a still image. But anyway, so that's Grover. I love Grover. I like Sesame Street. I was a Sesame Street kid. And yeah, so that's Grover and me. What? Andy, are you serious? Woohoo! I'm so excited. Oh, yay! Hi. awesome. Andy is probably one of the most one of the people who has thoughtfully introduced me to music in years ago. I haven't seen him for many years. So it's since like 2000 and something, 2004 maybe. Um, but I used to spend a lot of time with Andy, and he turned me on to the 10,000 Maniacs and Tori Amos. I knew before Andy came around, but he really kept me going. And Prince, I certainly listened to way more Prince than I think I probably would have more the deep cuts. So Andy has been a huge, huge music influence in my life, and still is, from what I still listen to. So it's good to have you here. It would be fun to catch up with you, Andy. Yeah, good stuff. Yay, that's so cool. What a weird world. Oh, yay! Scrog 13. Awesome. How fun. It's good to know that this, I don't know. It's a weird world being on this end where all I have is a camera and there are human people out there watching stuff. We were having the conversation a little bit earlier of just the whole, that this is not the place I ever thought I would find myself. I've never been comfortable in front of a video camera. Still not really comfortable in front of a video camera, but pushing myself over my own little humps, I guess. And this has been fun. The music thing has been fun. I've enjoyed so much listening to new music and listening to old music that I haven't listened to for a really long time. So it's an interesting process. And yeah, you couldn't have 10 years ago or less, if you would have told me I would be doing music reaction videos, I would have told you had no idea what you were talking about. So this is really cool. I am very truly touched that there are actually people here, because I really, 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 like, if I sit down and nobody shows up, that's okay. That's fine. It's really awesome that you guys are here. I really appreciate that. It's very fun.
Scrog, good to put yourself out there. A little ways back, Troy asked if the Grover was on the White Album.
On the White Album? Not the Beatles' White Album. Grover's album happens. Grover's album cover is white. He is not on the White Album. Although, who knows? That would have been fun. Grover show up on a Beatles album. That would be fantastic. A little crossover action going on. You know, Kermit's Unplugged album. I mean, he had Ozzy Osbourne and, gosh, I can't think of who else was all on the Kermit album. But anyway, so good crossovers.
A little ways back in chat, Scrog said right before he came on the stream, the commercial had Kermit on it.
Oh, yes! I've been hearing that Kermit commercial. I don't even know what the commercial's for. I always get stuck on the Kermit voice, and I couldn't even tell you what the commercial's for. Hey, Mickey. Awesome. Yay. Sweet. Yeah. I'm curious to know if the Kermit, like, okay, so I'm going to have to pay attention to the Kermit commercial, because you don't ever see Kermit, right? Like, it's just the Kermit voice. So I'm assuming they're going for Kermit, but don't remember what it was for.
So, question
from
off chat.
Okay. Oh, okay.
If you only had 3 albums you could ever play.
Oh, jeez. Yowza, 3 albums? I could only ever play 3? Okay, probably, I think the Culture Club Greatest Hits album probably has to be in there. I can't remember which one. I think also includes some Boy George songs, and hopefully it includes the one with, oh my gosh. Well, okay. So one of the Culture Club greatest hits albums would have to be in there. Honestly, okay. Does anybody remember? This is okay. There was a band a long time ago called the Pinups that had this. They had Stage Struck, and there's a song playing on the radio, and they do not have like good music because I'm trying to find them on YouTube, because I would love to do that on our channel. I would say that that probably has to be, that's like one of my favorite albums. I'm worried it would wear out over time, but I've always loved their album. Like it's just been one of my favorites. Oh, another one. Gosh, this is so hard. It might be. I somehow feel like I think for comfort I might need like a Tori Amos album to go with me, but I'm not sure which one. I'm so missing people, but boy. Yeah, that'd be an interesting question to ask every other year. Okay. Mickey Mayfield says you need to do the new Liliac duet. Well, guess what? That will be coming your way soon. That is recorded and not yet gone through the editing process, but it's on its way. So very exciting. Yes. Wow, 3 albums. That's tough. 3 albums. Yeah, no choking. We can't have the IT staff dying. That would be bad. Hard to run things from the side of the table. Oh yeah, I think they only had one band. I think they only had one album, and they're still all doing like different stuff today. Although it sounds like one might have gone off the rails a little bit. But yeah, I think Spotify used their account. I don't know what happened to Spotify. I went to hop into my account the other day that I used less than a year ago. And it's like gone. It's just totally gone because they put the pinups in, and I was so excited that they had the pinups. So you can check them out on Spotify. You can check some bad videos out on YouTube. Like they were on Merv Griffin. I just remember that because, well, that's also one of the YouTube videos that's actually up there. Is them on, I'm pretty sure it was Merv Griffin. Yeah. So I remember that, watching that on TV. I was very excited to see them. But they only lasted on one album. Anyway.
So Scrog says, are you going to tell us how you like the duet before?
Yes, I can. I actually liked it quite a bit. It's so weird. I'm so getting used to Melodia's new look. And for some reason that's throwing me a bit. I don't know why. It's not fair. Anyway, I like it. That's a song I liked quite a bit, except that it was just so painfully overplayed when it was out, when it was the Ozzy Lita version. I really like their version. And the video, I love the video. I love the colors of the video. I love the like upside down roses thing. So I really enjoyed their version of that. I think they did a really nice job. Yeah. Good stuff. Definitely good stuff. I assume they filmed that in their basement. I'm making an assumption there, but or in wherever they're filming, and they did just such a great job. I'm always impressed at how they use small spaces. Like I would love to see the behind the scenes videos in how they put all that together. And it was fun. I didn't know Melody played the flute, so that was neat. Learn something new every day. Good stuff. Yeah.
Have you heard David Draymond's and Lily Hayes' version?
David who? I guess that's a no. Okay. Bye-bye. Technical challenges. David. No. I have not. I have definitely not heard that version at all. I don't even. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. So this is the yeah, have you heard David Draymond and is it Lizzie Hale? I don't think I know who those two people are, and no, I'm pretty sure I have not heard that version. So curious. Yeah, yeah. Liliac did a nice job with
Troy.
it. Is Troy's speaking in code?
Troy's speaking. I don't know what I can't understand will be seeing Bud or no?
Bud?
Video.
Oh, I don't know.
For, hey, Christy Rocks is on.
Oh, hey! Awesome. Hey, Christy. Sweet.
David Drummond is Disturbed.
Oh, okay. Oh, I bet that's really good then. I mean, he's just got such a David from Disturbed has such a powerful, intensive voice. Oh, I would like to hear that. That would be really good.
Lizzie Hale is a singer from
Hailstorm. I think I've heard of, okay, I've heard of that band. I don't know. Okay, cool. I have not seen that. I've not heard that, but now I'm really curious. And I'm not familiar with her. I don't think I am anyway. Yeah. Yeah, this so been fascinating. Just the songs that you all have tossed me and the artists are so much more hard rock than I ever thought I'd be listening to in my life. But it's fun, it's cool, and it's great. I'm enjoying it for sure, and it's certainly broadening my my perspective because I certainly most of the hard rock stuff I listened to was more of the hits, you know, like that were in the top 40, and then a little bit outside that. Um, but um, but yeah, not nearly as much as I've dove into on this channel, which has been very cool, very fun. Yeah. Next question up for bid. Got everybody? Okay.
Previous question is, where is your favorite U.S. travel place?
Ooh, my favorite U.S. travel place? Boy, these are hard questions. Favorite U.S. travel place? You know, I think I am gaining a appreciation for the South, and, and we spent some time in Arizona last September, and I really enjoyed that. Like the Southwest, it's just amazing landscapes out there. But I don't know, favorite's really hard for me because it's kind of like, what am I doing there? What am I doing? What am I seeing? What am I eating? Um, so I have favorite things about most everywhere that I have traveled in the U.S. But if I were to pick up and just go, where would I go? And I would probably choose the Southwest, like Arizona. There's just so many places to explore that I haven't explored. Um, yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, there's just so many places to go. Um, okay, I see the question. Can you flip it, Joel?
Oh, I put it on black.
Yeah, like that didn't work so good. Let's see. Scrog13 says, I have to say, I really enjoy your obscure and older songs when you do them. Me too. Thank you. I'm so glad somebody does because they make me so happy. It's like it is one of the fun things as you guys who do watch you know, as you probably see, they don't get as many views as some of the other ones, and that's kind of like okay. And I'm really happy to know there are people out there that I really enjoy them because part of the fun of the channel is that we have a list of songs, some of them I know, some of them I don't know what's always on the list. And some of them, like when we started doing the channel or started having this idea, which was a long time ago. Well, I guess not even a year. I mean, as much as it's a long time ago, it was like yesterday, right? So I threw a bunch of songs down, and I've forgotten most of what is even on that list. So the DJ throws them at me, and so I don't know what's coming. And so that's for me that's part of the fun, right? It is the hearing the song. It's what I love listening to the radio for, right? I love listening to radio stations that throw random, like unusual songs. There's a station out in Pennsylvania that I listen to way more than I listen to my local radio because they just surprise me. And I love that. Like that makes my day. So I just love that there are other people who are appreciating those old and random songs too, because they're, for me, it's just like it's the emotional a burst of fun. So I appreciate that because there's just so many older and well, in general, gems, right? But just so many songs that kind of got lost, or you just haven't heard or nobody's played, and that I grew up with, and that maybe were just things that I loved that nobody else cared about, or somebody obviously did, but you know what I mean. It's just there's they weren't the biggest hits, but man, some of them are the things that drove my childhood, and music for me was was mostly, I mean, that's kind of what I lived for as a kid. We moved around a lot. I didn't have a lot of roots at my school, in my neighborhood, and we didn't have a ton of money growing up. So it was like music was our thing. My older sisters were very much, we always had a place to have a record player and have our records, and yeah, so that's what we thrived on, and that's kind of what my emotional goodies are from being a kid. So hearing those old songs, and yeah, so much fun. So I love it when you guys appreciate them, and I love when you request them as well. So keep them coming, man. Throw some at me, because I'm good to hear more and be reminded of songs that I have totally forgotten about. All right. Troy says, what was your first time with Tim Minchin? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to share that. Let's see. My first introduction to Tim Minchin. What was it? That is a really good question. Like, I feel like there's a place in my brain that should show up as, you know what? It must have been either, I think White Wine in the Sun came a little after. It might have been Prejudice. Yeah, and I don't even remember if it came across a Facebook post or a YouTube thing. Like, I just have I wish I could remember. But then I just kept on finding, and then Pandora. Then I got into my Pandora, and that's probably where my broader Tim awareness came in, is that I had a comedy station, and then the comedy songs kept coming. So I don't remember if that came from somebody else or if it was a random find on my own. But I think Prejudice and White Wine in the Sun were some of my two first songs. Yeah, good stuff. All right. Ooh, Jonathan Watson. Hey, Jonathan Watson. All right. Christy rocks. An R&B or jazz. Okay. Christy wants to hear some R&B or jazz. Bring it on. Throw me some stuff. So R&B, definitely know some R&B. Jazz, I am not as familiar with. I think we've done like one or two jazz songs. I think we did the drummer from the Rolling Stones, when he died. We did like a song from his jazz band, if I recall. Yeah. Throw me some stuff. Like, I know there's some good stuff out there, and I can certainly find some. listen to some, but it's not music I'm as familiar with. So let me know what you want to hear and what you want to introduce me to, because I am so open to introductions. And yeah, and some more R&B would be great as well. Matt, I love it. Good suggestions. Thank you. Good call. It is really, really helpful. Like, I really love knowing what you guys like, what you like to hear, what you feel is working. I mean, the comments are really helpful from you guys. Um, oh, okay. Wait, what? And oh, she may have sent some. Is that what you're saying? Oh, good, good, good. Okay. Um, oh, I see. So you're saying send again to the DJ?
Yeah.
Oh, because what's that?
For jazz.
For jazz. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So so the DJ is asking Christy to resend any requests that you've sent for jazz because he thinks he lost them. That's what I'm understanding from this weird disjointed conversation we're having over monitors. Um, so yes, please do send them, because it's, yeah, it's, I I mean, I heard a little bit of jazz as I was growing up and introduced by some people who really loved jazz. Where I first, a little bit of Nina Simone, and I'm trying to think who else. One of the first tastes of jazz I had a voice teacher at McPhail, Vicky Mountain, who she's a jazz singer. And it's funny, the jazz singer, the Neil Diamond movie, there's like no jazz in that movie. Anyway, um, side brain note. Anyway, so it was really fun listening to her and kind of learning a little bit about jazz through her, and just kind of gaining an understanding of what made it so cool. And she, as a voice teacher, she taught you what you wanted to learn. So there are some voice teachers that I've run into that, for instance, they train in opera, and if you're going to be in their voice class as your teacher, you are going to be learning opera. And she did everything like pop and everything like that. So when I was with her, I didn't do any jazz. I mostly did pop and country. But it was fun just from her perspective, learning a little bit more about jazz and the breadth of what jazz has to offer. It's interesting music. Yeah. All right. Ooh, Troy Stewart, what about a 3-video day? 3 videos at once? Oh boy, a trio. What could we do? I have a feeling that Troy Stewart probably has an idea of what those 3 videos would be. I don't know what he's thinking, but I bet you do, Troy. Send him over. Let's see. Yes, the stopgap for the 3 videos or multiple video days is the amount of time that we have for editing. Because trust me, I would be happy to spend my life listening to music, doing review videos, editing, all that stuff. I would love it. Unfortunately, there's real life and jobs that really mess with the things I want to. Don't you hate it when work interrupts your fun and your life? That's where the stopgap comes in. So if we can stop time, but not for us, we can get some more videos done. That would be interesting. Probably screw up the world a little bit. Anything else coming across? Okay. All right.
Liliac is doing a new Black Sabbath.
Ooh.
Heaven and Hell is their next cover video.
Oh, interesting. Do they take requests, Liliac? Like, can you say, hey, you guys should do this song? I don't know what I would want. Yeah, right. I don't know what I would want them to do that they haven't done, but it's an interesting thing to think about. I'll have to think about that. So we do have I haven't reached out to Papa Liliac yet about March 18th. Trying to figure out the best way to do that, but I do have a meet and greet. So if y'all Liliac fans have questions, like ideas of questions, to ask them, I am happy to bring a list with me. I'm trying to come up with some good questions for them. I'm kind of curious, like what sparked their sort of like visual redo, right? Like most of the band members got haircuts, and I kind of feel like they've slightly shifted a little bit. And that's totally fine. I'm just curious if there was like an inspiration, or if Papa Liliac cutting his hair made everybody decide that they should follow suit. I don't know. So I'm super looking forward to that. I'm super looking forward to the concert. Yeah. I mean, so what is it? It's Bret Michaels, it's Vixen, and Great White. Yes, okay. I don't know why I can't get Great White and White Snake. I don't know why they get stuck in my brain together. I know they're not the same people. Anyway, I'm excited to see them, and I'm yeah. But obviously, Liliac was the pushover for me to go, and I guess they're going to be in Minnesota again later on too. So maybe I'll get to see them a couple times this year. Works out to be a good 2022. I don't think I have any other. Oh, I have a Weird Al concert planned in like June or July, so that's exciting. Other than that, no other live music that I'm aware of to go to. But I'm excited. Weird Al's going to be in Duluth again. The last time I saw Weird Al was right before I headed off to India, so it would have been like in June 2007. He sang to me. It was very exciting. I had very good seats, and that was very exciting. So a little Weird Al fangirl. I should maybe bring a Weird Al album with me too on my desert island. I don't remember what else where I was going with my 3 albums. It was if I only had 3 albums I could listen to again. Was that the question, Joel? Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Troy is asking how much for a meet and greet with you. Well, that depends. Is there dinner and dancing involved? I'll have to think about that. Too funny. I haven't had to put a dollar amount on my my meet and greet status yet, so I don't know. Yes. Okay. Ooh, this sounds like fun. All right. Oh, woo! That was yeah. Hello, goodbye. I have a question thrown at me, and then it went phew, pew, far away. Take 2. Okay. All right. Mickey Mayfield says, I believe the story goes, Melody cuts hers. Oh, for charity. The others followed. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. She certainly had a head of hair. I mean, my goodness, somebody is winning, with her length, and it looked like she had a pretty decent amount of head of hair. So that's very fun. I've never gotten my hair long enough to do that. And even when I cut my hair short once, and that was, I guess twice in my life I've really cut my hair off. I've just kind of decided it's cold. And I don't know. I feel like my hair hits a point. It kind of goes, okay, I'm done growing. We'll just stay here. So I. Sam, yeah. Well, I loved his long hair, but he looks good he looks good, whatever. Yeah, too far. I'll have to go think about that now. I kind of just miss like all the hair flowing in their videos, right? Like that was just kind of a fun thing to have all of the hair flying around. Maybe their new house doesn't have as good of like like drains to maintain all of the washing of the hair. But yeah, it was just like all of a sudden I just saw pictures like, whoa, wait a minute. And I noticed, Melody had colored her hair and changed, and then it was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, they all have changed. Okay. Christy rocks. Is Weird Al still really good? He is. Yes. I saw him. When did I see him last? Because I saw him last in Madison. Before COVID. Can't remember exactly when, but yes, he really is good. I didn't see, he did a tour where he did like, I think it was like all string, like all his songs all in strings uh, or yeah, I think so. He's done a couple funky tours where he's done things a little differently. But he is really, really solidly good. He always impresses me. He's always been really good. The first time I ever saw him, was at Valley Fair in Minnesota at the free stage in the front row when Beat It was out. So I have pictures that I had with my either 8x10, 110 or my disc camera. Remember the disc cameras? I think it was my 110 actually. And he would like come by and he'd like, how Weird Al is kind of like double jointed. So he can like do these funky back bends. And so he was kindly posing for me, which was very fun. And he was so good then. He really has maintained a solid stage presence. Have you ever seen him live, Christy? I'm curious. His shows are very full. Like he's changing outfits. He's often, dressing up in costumes to relate to the song. His band is kind of doing the same. So he kind of puts on a little like mini show for most of his songs. And yeah, it's really, him and his band are just so solid. He's another one like Tim Minchin and how the words can just fly and they're always accurate. Weird Al's kind of the same way, where his really fast stuff it's just always dead on, and and good crowd stuff. It's a good time. Mickey Mayfield says, I always wondered if Sam ever got his hair I know his hair caught in his guitar while he was shredding. Yes, I have. So every time I'm watching, that's exactly what I'm thinking about, is his hair getting caught. And I actually was kind of looking one day when I was watching one of the videos and I was like stopping it while he kind of had his head down. And I'm like, I wonder if the length of his hair is like, okay, if I bend this way and I'm holding my guitar this way, it doesn't quite get in the way. So I'm like wondering if that made his decision of like how long his hair was cut. Like cut it down to here. Here's as low, as long as it can get, or it gets to be a safety issue. I have so wondered that. That would hurt, I would think. Yeah, definitely good question. I'll have to add that to my list. That's a very good question that I've totally been curious about. Yeah. Yes? Oh, okay. My turn to come up with topics to talk about? Ooh, boy. The pressure. Ooh. The DJ is asking how well his voice comes across. So when he asks question, do you guys hear him? If you are, or would it be helpful to mic him? Like, is it one of those things where it's like you hear this voice off to the side and you can't quite hear it, so you're straining your ears and you're like, it's kind of annoying. And would it be helpful to mic him? It's probably not a bad idea for the future. So feedback, I'd love your feedback. Yay, feedback. Oh, really? Okay. Is that annoying to you guys? Like, it's weird being on this end because, so yeah, he's across a table. So it's curious. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Okay, good point. So we will work on getting him mic'd. Yes. Good plan. Good to know. Thank you. See, again, this is why we're doing this. We have 2 weeks to try to fix all the bits and pieces, if there are bits and pieces. I don't know. This is working out pretty well. We're doing it in a little different space in my place. So we will see if we adjust. I need, like, this wall is very blank behind me. I need pictures. Normally a couch is sitting where I am, so there's nothing behind it, but I need to find some good like 80s music photos that I can stick back there. I'm like, who do I have? Do I have any like signed pictures that would be fun? I don't have a lot of musical signed pictures. I have more like Doctor Who and Beauty and the Beast autographs from people. I do have a Taylor Swift autograph, not that I got from her personally. I have a Boy George autograph. I didn't get it from him personally. Oh, I do have a Weird Al autograph, and I did get that personally. So, yeah. I'm not super like the autograph thing isn't like always my biggest thing. It's not about having the autograph. It's about the opportunity to like, it's the reason you get to like meet them. And that's fun. I like being in people's energy. So it's not so much about the autograph. It's about the time that I got to spend with the autograph. That to me is fun, if that makes sense. Okay. Joel, can you move the question a little bit to that way? There you go. Okay. Okay. Christy Rocks says, oh, wait. Studio down Papa on Facebook. Okay. So friend Papa on Facebook and messenger him about, okay. Thank you. I think I have friended him. I do have a Judy Adele Facebook account that we haven't really necessarily promoted, and I haven't quite figured out what I would use it for. I guess the lives would not be a bad idea, and I thought it would be fun to put like fun musical humor and whatever up there, but I haven't really done a whole lot with that. So thank you. That is helpful. And I will do that. That is on my to-do list, and I should just get to it because it's really not that hard. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, it'll be interesting because I think I heard Papa Liliac say something about them being at the Minnesota State Fair this summer, which that information hasn't been released yet. But I'll be really curious to know if they're at the state fair, like where will they be playing? Will they get like one of their own, stages, so they get to do a whole show? Because they have I mean, obviously, I don't know how long their shows were when they played at the Santa Monica Pier, but they have enough material to certainly, do their own thing. They don't need to be the opening act. I mean, I understand why they are, but and I'm kind of glad they're doing. Like, I'm super curious to know how the show's going to be, like how it's going to be divided out. Is everybody going to do 3 songs, or is everybody going to do a longer set? I haven't really been to a lot of like shows where there are a bunch of people in the show, so I'm curious how that will be divided out and how much time they'll get and what songs they'll do. Yeah, I don't know if he's got one between now and then. But if he does, yes, I will definitely be there. So yeah. So if y'all hear about one, feel free to a live stream coming up with Papa Liliac. Please definitely throw it on a comment thread on one of our videos so we see that, because I would definitely want to be there. So try to keep an eye out for them as well. But sometimes, with Facebook, you don't get fed the stuff that you want to be fed. And yeah. Some days I feel like Facebook knows me really well, and then some days I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen anything from this person or whatever, and you look and they've got a ton of stuff, and it's like, come on, know me better, man. Yeah, is there anybody else out there that has questions or thoughts or comments or feedback, or just to stop in and say hello, or to let us know you're out there hanging on? It's very, again, it's so weird. Like, it's so weird being, again, in this space where I know you all are out there and I'm just talking to a camera. There's no people. Although I have to say, I have done events in my past lives where nobody shows up and you're just in an empty room by yourself. And I think that's way less fun than this. So I'll take this. It's good to know that there's actual human beings out there listening. And I would love to know again from you guys, what other artists are we not doing? That would be fun to do. Part of it is, you think 365 days a year for music videos is like so much, and there's so much. There's not a room for all of it. Like there's so many songs and there's so much music that would be fun to do. And that, we've kind of been doing like, what we have Tim mentioned Mondays. And so we kind of have this theme that we have going that we're not 100% tied to. But we have Tim mentioned usually on Mondays. And then what else is out there? Oh yeah, US for the rest of the week, and then Saturdays and Sundays are usually international. It's kind of how we've done it, and it's kind of just been a trial and error. And a lot of what we do is just, we're kind of like, there's no real guidebook to this, right? Like there's no there's no real understanding of algorithms and how music gets put out there and how people find our stuff, and how you know how I don't know if Andy, if you're still on, but how the heck did I come across your stream? Because that was totally random. I'm guessing, so I'm super curious about that. Oh, bummer. Okay, well, Andy, if you're watching this in the future for some reason, yeah. So yeah, it just, there's so much we don't know, and there's so, everything from like, when do you release a video, right? Like it's all just trial, and I don't even want to say error, because I don't feel like there's any errors. It's just, and you don't know why things get seen and why they don't, and why things take off and why they don't. But, and yeah, I'd love to hear more of just the songs you haven't heard forever, or the music that is fun and exciting. And I love good comedy music. Yeah, it's. John Martin said hello from paradise. Yep. Which paradise is that? Uh-oh. I'm trying to remember where John Martin is. Oh, okay. No, it didn't. Try some madrugada? Madrugada. Is that how I pronounce that? I'm not sure. What is... Yes. Yeah, and I was getting there. Basil, tell us what that is. Is that a band name? Is that... I'm guessing that's a band name. Madrugada? I like the word. I love words. Words are fun. Yeah. Madrugada. Good word. I like cool names. I find, I don't know, the name, do you guys remember Michelle, wait, what's her first name? Ndege oh no, I can't say her name. I just said her name this morning, like literally out loud. She played with John Mellencamp on, I'd have to stop for a moment and literally play the song in my head that I can't remember the name of. I hate when I get lyrics and then I can't quite get to the verse in my head. Michelle Ndege Buccello. Is that it? I can't remember what her last name is now. Buccello. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, normally I can say her name correctly, but now when I'm thinking about it, as how my brain typically works, when I try to think of something, it's just gone. I don't think that's fair. Anyway, I love her name, and it so makes me happy when they say it on the radio, because I just think it's such a fun word. Yeah. Have we done Poets of the Fall? Oh, I do not think so. Basil is asking about that. Yeah, I do not even know if I know who that is. Yeah, well, we'll be going through the comments, and so yeah, we appreciate you putting the comments in, because we will go back and we would be pulling things out and putting them on our list. So, and it's so great. Like, we also love when you guys, I mean, I love a band name, that is awesome. It's also so cool when you guys throw like a particular song or a link to something, just sometimes to get us started. Joel sometimes will go researching a little bit. So like when we did Dirty Loops, uh, the the requested song was one of their originals, and I do tend to like, I don't know why. It's probably my version of familiarity that I enjoy, but I love learning about bands, and I enjoy hearing the covers and kind of getting to know them that way. And I think it's just that sense of familiarity, and then jumping into their original stuff means more to me. And I don't know. I don't know. I feel like somehow that's not fair. Like somehow I should just be enjoying their original stuff. And I think I'm a very associative person to how I learn learn music and love music. So like most of the music, I mean, there's obviously a good chunk of music that I have loved that has nothing to do with anybody else in the world. But some of my favorite music has been introduced to me by somebody else, and so it's that feeling of like, I think, kind of connection. So I think there's that sort of connection that I have um, when it comes to learning a new band. Okay, let's see. Uh, I Troy Stewart says, "Admit it, you love you love you some silver platters." I do love me some silver platters. Silver platters, if you're not familiar, from the Brady Bunch. So the Brady Bunch, of course, had their own musical albums, but on the show they entered a contest, a musical contest. Actually, was it a talent show? I think it was a talent show that they entered, and they wanted money. They wanted to win a prize because I think they had to take their dog to the vet on the show, if I remember correctly. So they entered as the Silver Platters, and they did this whole thing behind like, they surprised their family. So their first time that their mom and dad saw it, the Brady mom and dad, was on TV. So we did that song, which was very, very fun, and I learned a lot more about that. I had forgotten about that episode. Okay, Basil Keen says, Madrugada, is a Norwegian band. I think it would fit in nicely with your channel. Cool. Okay. Thank you. I wonder what that word means. All right. We'll check it out. Thank you. Very cool. Man, there's so much music around the world. I think that's one of the things that I tend to listen to I tend to listen to more pop radio, like the popular radio. I mean, and I listen to country, and I listen to all different types of stuff, but I think I enjoy, like, we have, our local radio stations will have radio shows that play much more local music like that. And I enjoy listening to them, but I don't listen to them as much. I don't listen to the radio as much. Like as a kid, you didn't walk into my house without my space, without hearing the radio. And now I do typically have music on, but I don't tend to listen as often to sort of the local stuff, to kind of hear the not typical popular stuff. And I feel like in the US, we, at least where I'm at, you kind of almost have to seek that stuff out a little bit more. And not that I couldn't do more of that, but again, I think back to that familiarity piece for me, is why I maybe sometimes don't do it when I'm listening to music. It's almost like I need that. I'm looking for that friend, that comfort, that that familiarity. I'm looking to kind of create some normalcy in my space. And then along with that, hearing new songs as well. But I had a direction I was going when I started talking about this. So just with this channel, it has just been so much fun hearing music from all these other, so many other countries. I mean, we've hardly scratched the surface of music from other countries, but it has just been really cool hearing what's going on, in popular, or just the different types of music and what other places are doing, and it's just so interesting. Okay, question. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. So the DJ asked the question of what do y'all think of the Indonesian music and people that we have on the weekends? Like, do you guys, is that fun for you guys to listen to and check out? I know we sort of like, holy cow, was that a whole new world of music, of the Indonesian music. But yeah, all of a sudden we had this like following in Indonesia, which is just pretty wild and cool. And Alipata is um, one of the ones that one of the people that we play most from Indonesia. He's an amazing finger picking guitar, and the way he can work his guitar and and again, I'm always fascinated, like how many American songs are, in other countries that our popular music is their potentially popular music, or definitely in their popular music, where we in the US don't filter in a lot of other countries' music, which I think is such a bummer. But anyway, curious about what you guys think of our weekend Indonesian music. It's been, again, very fun. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's our international. So we started out with a lot of Indonesian, and then we've. Uh, oh, we did. Oh gosh, duh. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nightwish. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh gosh, it's so weird. Time and how things get put together. Yes, okay, that's true. So yeah, we started in Sweden and then Indonesia, and then we've gone all over the place to Korea, Japan, uh, and what's that? All by request. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Cool. I mean, it's a fun way to gain variety. So it's good to hear what you guys think of that. Or do you or do you need you know, should we throw in a good fast paced R&B song on Saturday morning so we can get our Saturday off to an intensive start? Or, of course, it depends what kind of Saturday you're having. Do you need to sit down and drink tea Saturday morning, or get me going because I got to clean the house Saturday morning? Yes. Mm. So Basil says he's lived in Asia for how long? 30 years. Wow, that's so cool. That would be fun to hear more about. Basil's in, in am I correct, in Perth right now in Australia? I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, Basil. Australia is definitely a place that I think would be a fascinating place to visit. I've only been to India for 6 months and Canada for not quite 24 hours. And I think that's it. Well, and some other travels in like on cruise ships, but I don't really count those. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not the same as actually being in that country and experiencing that country. So they're fun little touch points, but it's not the same. Um, yeah. So, although I do have to say, going on like the cruise ships and being, you kind of get this, oh my gosh, I want to spend more time here, right? Like just that was in Jamaica. It was like, okay, at some point I'm hoping to get back here again because it just seemed like a really interesting place. I was chatting with this woman um, who does the whole, we get off the cruise ship and then they have all these stands and things that you can buy, and of course all that stuff. And I was chatting with this woman, and she was in the process of wanting to start a coffee shop, and I honestly wish I had written down the name of her coffee shop, because like if I ever get back here, I still want to go to see her coffee shop. But she's like, oh no, 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 Jamaica, you don't get a taste of Jamaica here. You need to come back, take a plane, come back. But it was a cool place. And I got to see one of the spots that where Stella got her groove back was filmed. Um, Very small part of the movie, but like when they're out in the house and there's like this big, like I don't even remember if it was a fountain out in front. Anyway, that was one of the tourist spots. Not because it was where they filmed it, but because the house has meaning, and they take you there, and happened to be the spot that Stella Got Her Groove Back was filmed. So.
Spinning up into I get Troy, but yeah, Basil's in Perth.
Okay.
Heading back to Singapore Thursday.
Oh wow. Okay. So that's exciting. I'm curious to know, Basil. So are you if you care to share, and if I ask anything that's inappropriate, just don't respond or tell me to be quiet. So going back to Singapore. So it's like the Australia thing, like hang out there for a while and then go spend some time somewhere else and hang out there for a while, and so spend a bunch of time because you've been in Australia for a while at least. Just a good way to like be. I mean, how cool is that? So super curious. I'm fascinated with what brings us to different places and how we get there. Like, I'm in Minnesota, like this very northern state. It's very, very cold. And when, like when I was in college, people would, come to visit and be exchange students or wanting to be, and like, what in the world made you come to Duluth where it's, 25 below zero, and you're from like, Africa where these temperatures, they don't even make sense to you. Like, what in the world would bring you here? I had my question answered in a few different, by a few different people. But it was always sort of, it seemed like this process of elimination somewhat. Nobody was like, oh my goodness, let me go to Minnesota. It's lovely here. Don't get me wrong. I love Minnesota, and it's beautiful. And there are a lot of great things about it. But the cold winters is not one of my favorites. And if you're a skier or a outdoors winter person, good on you. Come and enjoy, because it's great for that, and we have amazing trails and amazing places to be, and a beautiful live not far from Lake Superior, and it's amazing. And this is when I was a kid. So where was my favorite place to travel? Duluth was my favorite place to travel when I was a kid. I didn't have a lot of experience traveling, but I thought Duluth was just the most amazing thing. There was this cool bridge that went up and down, and these amazing boats you could take boat rides on, and I just thought that was just the most neatest thing in the world. And I could hardly believe that you could just come and live in Duluth, and that it could be a place to live. So I finally figured that out, obviously. I was a little late on my game. But, when you travel someplace, right, you kind of only see a certain aspect of it. I think it was in like high school before I realized they had a mall and then like more land that wasn't involved in front of the lake. So, yeah, you see things in sort of one perspective, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a whole new world out there. Yes. Something coming my way? Question wise. Oh, that's very. I know. That's fine. Technical difficulties. That's all right. We're figuring it out. Okay. Thank you. Where have you never traveled to that you wish to visit? Oh, that's an easy one. I have wanted to go to England, London specifically, but really the whole of England, but really London. Okay, London was first, and then it grew. I was intrigued with Big Ben. So Boy George came first. And then there was Big Ben. And I was just like, okay, this is where I need to go. I have no idea. I don't have a thing for clocks. I don't necessarily have a thing for big towers of like, they got to see all the big towers of the world, which is some people's things. I just like, I have to go there, and I have yet to go there. But it's probably the first place that I want to go. And I want to go in other places in conjunction with that, is like, I mean, I want to see all of Europe. My sister spent some time in London, and I just kind of even seeing the little bits through her eyes just also really got me really excited. And I don't know, it sounds like there's a lot of fun dance clubs, and it just sounds like the culture over there would be a really, really fun place to be. Um, Iceland is another place I really want to go. I don't even know much about Iceland. um, Although I have to say, after Eurovision Song Contest, I want to go there even more. But there's something about it that just the pictures just seem so intriguing. Like, I know nothing about Iceland, and me, I think the first time I said I wanted to go to Iceland, somebody was like, "You do have realized that there is ice in the title, right?" um, that being said, I still want to go. Something flashed in front of me, and it's coming back. Okay. Okay. What's that? Oh, okay. Troy Stewart says, Boy George came first. You gonna talk? Oh, you're gonna stalk his home. I at one point had his address, and I did not go and immediately stalk his home. So I probably will not do that. However, if I do have any access or any connections, I don't want to freak the dude out. That's not the goal. So probably not stalking homes, not really my style. But if I had any connections over there to find him, I'm down with that. I just want to do it respectfully and not be scary. Scrog13 says, "Oh, can you surf on Lake Superior?" I personally, hell no. Um, but yes, you can. Yeah. Well, and there are people like, yeah, Joel said it's 36 degrees in the summer. Is it really 36? Gets okay. Um, and there are warmer places to be. So on the beach line, there are places like there's this place, Park Point, which it's usually a little warmer there. You can, yes, people do. Not all the time because we don't have that big of waves, but there are people out there when we have crazy waves that are out there that are surfing, and they are super impressive to me. I think it's pretty neat. But very cold. All right. Mickey Mayfield says, am I seeing the whole question, Joel? I'm not. Okay, that makes okay. Technical difficulties. Do 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 do. Woo. Okay. Okay, so this says, Mickey Mayfield says, the scene in the movie Cool Runnings when the Jamaican bobsled team experiences 30 below zero weather for the first time is what I picture. Everything above, is there words after above? It's the first time what I picture above everything above the Mason-Dixon line. Oh yeah, 30. That is, oh my gosh, there's a movie that would be fun to see again. Yeah, I need to put that on my list. I need to watch. That was such a good movie. Yes, and to sort of watch it with the awareness of that thought process of experiencing cold for the first time, because it is interesting to be with people when they sort of come here and have that cold experience. One of my friends' wives came from the Philippines, and she came in the winter, and I just can't even imagine what that was like for her. I mean, it was cold. It wasn't just our regular cold. It was like, it got the week after she was here, it got just miserably, hardly can be outside cold, and she did not have proper attire, and I just felt so bad for her. But yeah, or when people come and see the snow for the first time, and just how much it blankets everything. But yeah, the 30 below, it's yeah, it's kind of wicked. And what's also interesting, it's like I always find it fascinating about how different the humidity in the air and how much wind makes all the difference in the world. So we can have 40-degree days that are, I think, colder than our 0-degree days because of the way the wind or the wet is. A couple years ago we had like one of the coldest days ever with one of the coldest wind chills, and I was very proud of myself because I was out and about in it and I wasn't like dying, but it wasn't windy, and so it was definitely cold and it wasn't pleasant, but it was not as miserable as sometimes I experience our warmer days when the wind is up. Oh, Carol Van Hooley is on. Hi, Carol. All right, you say. Whoa. Oh. Okay. Sorry. All right. We need to have a okay. Let's see. Yeah. You're not the worst friend ever, Carol. At all. Ever. In any way. Oh, K-pop playing clown. Hey, glad you're here. Glad to see you. Um, yes, K-pop playing clown introduced us to um uh-oh. Yeah, accidentally. He got us in trouble. But that was an accident. Yeah, because our first song from him was a J-rock song, but because his name has K-pop, people got upset, and we screwed up too a little bit. Um, well, okay, I was fed incorrect information by the DJ for which I repeated, which then got us in trouble, and then it got repeated kind of because there's K-pop playing clown, so people would see his name. I think it's a him, actually. I guess I might be making an assumption on that. And then people were like, "It's not K-pop, it's J-rock," and we're like, "No, no, no, it's the name." So that's an interesting thing that we occasionally have to deal with, which is just fine. Keeps us on our toes. So, yay! Glad you're here. The DJ blames it on the DJ. That isn't a me blaming it on the DJ. That's a DJ blaming it on the DJ. All I have is the information that's given to me, except the stuff that hangs out in my head. But I had nothing going on in my head about that. So that was all very new. Yes, this whole world of J-rock and K-pop is fascinating. And it's so fun, like some of the songs that I still listen to, and I go back and listen to the other songs, and it's when you hear a song for the first time, right? Like you're kind of, okay, well, I'm like taking it all in, and then the more I hear it, the more I love it. Or those songs where you don't, you like in the beginning, they're okay, but then they really, 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 really grow on you, and you love them forever. Yes?
No, I'm keep going at something.
Oh, okay. The DJ's having some fun conversations going on over there that I am clearly not privy to, which is fine. Entertainment for everybody. Oh, yes. I guess this is true social distancing with the with the YouTube live world.
Oh, yeah. Our first video from K-pop was Bandmade.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Bandmade. Thank you. Yes, it was. I knew that in my head. Yeah, Bandmade, a very cool band. If you haven't checked out any of their videos, they're very, very good. Very cool. Yeah, yeah. It's like like I said, it's just been so much fun to expand my musical horizons. I pretty much like all types of music. I like some of all types of music, right? Like it's more about the song and I don't even know what it is that makes me love music, but so I'm not really a big opera fan. That is not my gig, but I think if I learned more about it, I would probably like more of it. But then I have my opera songs that I really do like, and my kind of people that I'm curious about. Sarah Brightman is one that I don't like listen to a lot of her stuff, but she has some stuff that I really like, and I appreciate her as a singer. She's amazing, and I have, want to see a few operas. So I like exposing myself to all different types of music because it's so fun to see what people do and what they create and what is meaningful to them to create. And then again, adding different cultures and adding different sounds and what people bring in instruments that they bring from their musical world is really interesting. I mean, it's like when we spent our 6 months in India, um, there's a lot. Well, what was so interesting about that was, on the popular radio, it's a mix of songs from India and a mix of US songs and a mix of UK songs. Um, but it was really fun to listen to their stuff and what's popular, and I brought back a little bit of that music that I still really enjoy listening to. It was interesting over there as well, because you know how we have songs and you take out, on our radio stations they take out the swear words, right? Over there they don't have the same like system for that. So you would hear a lot more words just fly, and they weren't like beeped out or blurred out or whatever, because over there they don't hold the same weight that they do. And where that got interesting was, so we have, rap songs in our culture that in the US that made it over there into India, into their mainstream music. And so we were at an event over there, and this gentleman, Indian gentleman, started singing one of his favorite rap songs. I guess rapping would be a more appropriate thing, that he was rapping. Well, the N word shows up, and there happens to be a black gentleman in the group. So it was a group of some Americans and some Indians. Yeah, so the Americans were the client. Is that what you said, Joel? Okay, so yeah, so the Americans were over there working for and with the Indian company, right? So one of the Americans was a black gentleman, and so this Indian guy's rapping along, and N-word comes just flying out of his mouth. Nothing, just like every other word of the song. And another gentleman steps kind of in the middle. It's like, hey, you cannot say that word, and which I understand, but at the same time, I'm like, he doesn't know what weight this word holds, right? Like, this is just a word in the songs he's hearing. Just like if we were to hear songs from another country and we would learn, he knew English way better than I would know any other language I've ever tried to learn, to know, the weight of the words, maybe. But again, he wasn't aware. He was so unaware that this was a bad thing. It was just completely clueless. Yeah, he was amazed. And it's just like, yeah, if we learned a song from another language, we might not know what the intensity of a particular word might mean. So it was just interesting to see that and think about that from a perspective of learning things in another language, and sort of giving people a little bit of a break when they don't know how intense a word can be, and what those words mean in a culture. It's just fascinating. So, okay, what else we got going on here? Okay. Can you throw that up there one more time, Joel? It went away. Yes. So yeah, the family friendly show. The point that Troy Stewart is making on the comments is just, yeah, Tim Minchin has a song with many F words in it. He has many songs with many F words, but one of them is very much commentary on what's that? Oh yeah, well yeah, it's the context, and the song is, well, one of the songs is very, very much a commentary on some things politically going on, and what I did appreciate about his statement, and if you've seen the video, I think I made this comment in the video, is just that so many people were mad at him swearing. And his whole point was, if you're more mad at my swear words than you are at the actual action that was taken that caused me to use those words, that's problematic, which I always think is kind of an interesting point. So it's yes, understanding the context of the words and all of that it's very interesting from our own perspectives and how we understand them and what weight they carry. Interesting in language, interesting in our own culture and families even, and what historically things mean, and how we've grown up with words and how people around us. I mean, I think of the words that I grew up with that my parents had no clue had really negative historical context and connotations, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, holy cow, okay, good to know. All right. Okay. Oh, the worst argument against something is complaining about swear words. Yeah. Oh, a question. All right. It's come from. Oh. Have I ever reacted to a song I didn't like? It's funny because I was somehow taking that into like my daily life instead of this. Have I ever reacted to a song I didn't like? Trying to think if there's any song I didn't like. I don't think that there's any songs that I did not like. There are songs that I appreciate them for the work that goes into them, for the quality of the singing or the artist. And I don't necessarily love the song, but I don't think I've ever had one that I didn't like, that I walked away from like, yeah, well, that's a good question. And I don't think I have. I don't think I've reacted to anything that I'm just like, yep, never want to hear that again in my life. Some, if I never heard again, I'd be okay with, but nothing I feel negatively about, really. So, yeah. Yeah, all I think and some of the songs that I've listened to that were like, yeah, okay, that's an okay song. Some of them have really grown on me more. Oh yeah, like Blackpink. Yes, Blackpink. Is it called Blackpink? The band name is Blackpink. The song is Blackpink, and that song. Is it? Well, Blackpink. Oh no, I don't think that's the name of the song, but they say Black. It is. Is it? Oh, okay. All right. This is the other thing. You do all these songs and then you can't remember what they're called, and after a while, yeah, they're I think the first song we did by Blackpink, first or second. I hung on to that one for a while. That one got a Pandora station. You know what's funny? I think I made a Pandora station and I don't think they've ever played that song, which is the thing about Pandora I don't love. That is nice about Spotify, because Spotify, you put in a song and poof, you can play it. But I love the surprise of Pandora. And I've gained, like, Pandora has introduced me to a lot of music on my stations. Again, it's like, 10 songs you love, and then one you're like, oh, never heard this before. But then it grows on you. Okay. Oh, a new challenge for me. Find a song that I don't like. Ooh, Scrog13 says that. Yes. I'd be curious to know what that is. I'm trying to think of, like, what songs I don't like in general. I don't have a lot of songs that I don't like. There are songs that I tend to like that are overplayed, that I'm just like, okay, I'm so done with this. But I know there are some that I don't love. But I know there's ones I don't like. I just can't think of them. K-pop playing clown. What was the last concert you went to? Okay, by went, do you mean physically went? I'm going to say you did. Well, see, the last concert, Carol Van Hooley, you're on here. Tell me what the last concert was that we went to, because I was with you. New Year's Eve. Was it New Year's Eve that we went? one of the, oh, this is horrible. I can't remember the name. It was there was a band and there was a lady artist, and they're not people I knew before that night. So Carol, you need to get back to me about that. One of the band's name was the name of the song, a song that I can't remember. So, okay, I will get back to you on that. The last concert that I saw live and in person before that, I think was Culture Club, Thompson Twins B-52s, at the Minnesota State Fair the summer before COVID. That was really a great concert. Really good. All of them were really good. Trying to think of any other live music. And then I saw Culture Club, like they did a concert. I don't quite know how they did it, if they did multiple concerts, but they did it like where they I don't know if they played it in the US at different times or how they did that. I don't know if they just recorded one and then, but it seemed like they were doing something different with the concerts in different parts of the country. That I did over, streamed, and then yeah, that was awesome. If you can't remember, someone's having some fun. Yeah, not that much fun was had. That's just me not being able to remember the names of the people that were there that were new to me. I did like the fan page of one of the lady on Facebook. I can't remember her name. She's really good too. We should find a video by hers when I get her name, and we'll review a song.
Was it Funkytown or
Funktown.
concert?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. I think they had a longer name though. Well, this is embarrassing. This is horrible. I should know them because I wanted to. Yeah. Well, I'm not a very good musical fan. Boy, it was a really good concert too. It was a very small. It was Madison, Wisconsin, and there wasn't a whole lot of people there because of ye old COVID. Jonathan Watson says, "Ooh, Judy, I can." I can pick up some songs for you that you would never want to hear again. Game on. I'll have to pay attention for songs that I'm just like don't want to hear anymore. There was one that I was for a while that was making me turn off, like it would make me change the radio station not too long ago. And I can't remember who it was. See, I just blocked it out. And then I think I softened to it after a little bit of time, but I don't remember who it was. You know what song? This is horrible. Okay, there was a song that, and I have grown to like this song a little bit. Why I didn't like it, I don't know. Remember the song? And I feel really bad, and I'm like almost scared to say this out loud. The Rihanna and Paul McCartney song. I don't remember the name of the song. There was something about that song I didn't like, and I don't know what it was because there were aspects of it that I did like. But there was something about it that rubbed me the wrong way, and I heard it again not that long ago, and I realized that I wasn't as crabby about it as I was before. But it was I was listening to it going, what is it about this song that it just doesn't trip my trigger? Yeah. Yeah, that's a curious question. So I know there have been songs where I'm like, okay, for a while I didn't like when Duran Duran came out. I didn't like them. It took me a while to like them, and then I grew to like them. Corey Hart's Sunglasses at Night, I hit a tipping point of, yep, nope, can't listen to this song anymore, and I don't know why. But I think it was just overplayed. I think that was my issue with that song. It's just it was everywhere for a while. And again, I kind of like that song again. I just needed a break, apparently. Yes. Yes. K-pop asked if we're in Minnesota. Yes. We're in Minnesota. We're in Duluth, Minnesota. Yeah, sure, you betcha. There are some Fargo sounding people up here, and some Canadian sounding people. I apparently occasionally sound Canadian, and I think that is when I am hanging out with Canadian people, because I do occasionally pull accidentally. It's pretty accidentally. But yes, we're in Duluth, Minnesota. You should come visit us. we can go have coffee at Amazing Grace. Really good coffee shop up here. Not as good as it used to be, but that's not their fault. They still have really good food and really good coffee, but they turned it into a marketplace, and it isn't the coffee shop with all of the like musical and poetry readings and all the cool stuff that used to go on there. But still good food and still good coffee, and that's important. Um, I like the coffee shop atmosphere. So, yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I'm just getting lost in the comments.
Comments are flying.
So K-pop says my son's girlfriend listens to Lily visits every week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, your Mount Rushmore of songs you've reviewed.
What does that mean?
Meaning, I think, what are the top?
Oh, the top 4 songs of Mount Rushmore. Sorry, I had an instant picture of Mount Rushmore in my head. I have a cup with Mount Rushmore on it. Oh, my top 4. Okay, so there's like, that's divided in my head. I'm like, the 4 videos that I'm happy with, or the 4 songs that are my favorite. That is really hard, because if I'm really honest, I can't remember half the songs we reviewed. I have to be reminded. Top 4 songs. Okay, so the things that I think of, I most recently really enjoyed Dirty Loops, Circus. Like, they brought me to life. I know that at least one Tim Minchin is in there. And I just can't remember which one. Okay. Song for Wasi or the 3-minute song are probably 2 of my favorites of his. And I really enjoy doing those. I'm trying to think of what else I've done. That's my favorite, or that was surprising. We have one that was surprising, but it's not out yet, so I'll let you keep your eyeballs out for that.
I'm interested in each.
The one that you were going to pop out one morning and then couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
That I probably was slightly in shock and probably didn't react as strongly as I could have, or probably was internally reacting. So it will be out in a while, because what happens is we do videos, and then there's copyright claim things that happen. So some of them can go out like right away, and then some of them have to sit and wait till they are cured and ready for public consumption, according to the YouTube world. So it's always like you can have a plan, and then your plan gets completely shifted. Other favorite songs. I have to say, White and Nerdy. Oh, it should get on my list. Yeah, I love that song so much. Oh my God, I love that song so much. I do love that song. I have to say, though, I think when it comes, like, there's a little bit of the element of surprise and new. So again, it's not like I listen to Ali Bata songs on my days, just as so much of a random, but some of the Ali Bata songs have been just this, I think, just how impressed I am at what he can do. I love Unbreak My Heart. So I just love that song so much, and I think he did a really nice job. And I can't remember what our first Ali song was, but I remember I was kind of just taken with his skill set. One of the songs recently, okay, my Grover song. I love my Grover song. That's one of my favorite songs. What is the Grover song called? I can see the JPEG is sitting somewhere on my screen that I can't quite read because it's under stuff. I Grover. It's called I Grover. I, Grover, am big and tall and very smart and kind of cute and wonderful. It's my favorite Grover song. That one. Anyone that we did, which was Chakra Khan, I love his version. I love the original version. We didn't do that, and had I connected with the DJ about that, we probably would have done that first. But I love that song. That song was just like very much on my mind the day that it happened to fly across my screen for review. So that's probably one of my favorites. I'm trying to think like way back in the early stages of this. What were some of my favorites? Um, yeah, I think those are some of my favorites. I probably have more. There's so many songs. There's so many good songs that we haven't reviewed, and there's songs. Oh, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer song, like that's one of my favorite songs in the world. That I can't remember the name of because apparently song titles don't stick in my head like they used to. The Buffy song. What's the Buffy song called, Jeff? No? Okay. Yeah. So that's another one of my favorites. But yeah, there's so many songs we haven't even done for one reason or another, or copyright stuff that is going to be hard to get through, or there's just so many other songs, and there's just so many songs. Okay. Oh, Scrog13 says, I say you thoroughly enjoyed the Dixie Chicks one. Yes, I did. I did. And we did Goodbye Earl, and we did another one too, right? Yeah. I love the Dixie Chicks. They are. Oh, okay. We have more coming. More Dixie Chicks coming. Yeah. What's that? I've got a theory. Yes, I've got a theory. The Buffy. Thank you. The Buffy song. That's one of my favorite songs. I love the whole Once Upon a Feeling. Once Upon a Feeling? Once Upon a Feeling soundtrack. That's like, yeah, I love that. That's one of those things that took some time to grow on me, but then it grew and it infested and it's there forever. Which is in a fine way. Yeah, so much music. The Brady Bunch. Which one? Which one of the Brady Bunch haven't we done that we should do? Oh, as the favorite one. The Silver Platters one? Okay, got it. All right, yes. Oh, yeah, that was fun too. Oh, so many songs. So many of my favorites. I can't do favorites well. Carol, okay. Bye, Carol. Thank you for coming. Yay. We'll have to find the band names. I'll have to find the band names, see if they have any videos, because they were really good. Yeah, I'm not a good at favorite person. I'm kind of like both and all the time for everything. I don't do favorites well. So when I do have a favorite of anything, that's pretty far ahead in most cases. And I go through like artists. Like I have a hard time picking favorite artists because it's not just one. It's like, did I mention Culture Club? As one of my favorite, that was going to be one of my album favorites that I took with me. You know, does he get a, oh gosh, yeah, that's hard. We haven't done my favorite Culture Club songs. I love all of the I love all of the Culture Clubs. Like there's Boy George Culture Club is one of the all-time favorite. You know, I am not one of those people who are like everything they do is the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my whole life ever. But everything they do I really like, and there's songs that I don't prefer as much, but I like so much of what they do. And again, that's another grow on me, right? If I don't love something out of the gate, I typically do within a short period of time of listening to it. But yeah, I go through like the phases, you know, they're, you know, probably Culture Club, Boy George, Tori Amos. I went through a pretty heavy 10,000 Maniacs, Natalie Merchant period, and I own probably most everything, you know, back when you bought their stuff and you had the physical. I'm a very tangible person, so I really miss having CDs and the muscle memory around that and playing music. I will be in my happy space when all of my music can just be in my space and my well, I had a 5 CD disc changer at one point. I probably need way more than that. But I like that. I like that physical act of playing music and playing records and just connecting with it that way. It just feels really different to me than just going and clicking. Like I liked it when iTunes had album covers because that was the closest thing you could have to going through my CD collection. But what was annoying about that was they would change the covers and they weren't the actual albums, the cover. They were other, in some cases, just the wrong album cover, or they were just a picture of the artist. And like, no, I want, like, this is a representation of what I own and is sitting in a box right now. And iTunes like lost all my playlists multiple times. I'm a little sore about that. But I kind of miss that part of life. And vinyl, I mean, I grew up with vinyl. You know, it was a big deal in my house to be able to put the vinyl record. Like there was a rite of passage to be able to put the record on the record player and to put the needle on the record, right? Like that was in my house. Like that was where punishment happened, right? If you didn't respect the records and the putting the needles on, like that was way worse than most anything in our house. And I'm kind of that way. That would be the one thing if I had children I would be repeating. It just, you learned, you handled everything by the edges and you carefully put that needle down and you learn. And that's how in my house, you know, like I have a friend, she learned about how to be careful with things because of like knickknacks, right? That's how you learn to appreciate aspects of the world and how you appreciate to be gentle. My house, it was vinyl. And I appreciate that. So yeah. We were big record buyers. I sort of still feel guilty about like the BMG and the Columbia clubs, but I still spent my, you know, I got my free CDs, but I also spent a fair amount of money. There was a sale at Pomida. I don't know if Pomida is all over the US, but it used to be in the Midwest at least. I think there is still a couple Pomidas around. And they had this, like, I don't know, I want to think it was like a 69-cent sale or something. And all the records were on sale, and at least all the ones they had out at the time. And I remember going to that sale, and I remember buying stuff at that sale. I don't remember what I bought. I remember my sisters bought some K-Tel albums. K-Tel albums, weren't they the best? Love K-Tel albums. Oh my gosh. Just all of the great music you got on one vinyl record. It was the best. I think that was the sale that my sister bought a Sean Cassidy. Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you. A time check. Appreciate that. I have no idea what time it is. My sister bought a Sean Cassidy album, and I think it was the one with the Do Run Run on it. And we got it home, and it was Debbie Boone, You Light Up My Life. That was the album inside. So we didn't actually return the album. We kept that and rebought Sean Cassidy because we were then really curious if all the Sean Cassidys got Debbie Boone. So somebody, whoever you are out there, if you did that as a joke, as a replace the record, you win. We enjoyed it. We kept the record still. My sister still has it to this day. So, all right. Yes? What did you say? Oh, okay. There's more to come. Am I understanding you correctly? Oh, I don't know what that means. So confused. Okay. Oh, Troy Stewart, you're not my friend anymore. Hey, bring that back. I didn't read the rest of it. Troy says, you are old, Judy. They don't know. They don't know about the cassette club. You know, did I belong to I never got the cassettes. I got the vinyl and I got CDs. I never did the cassettes. Cassettes were just too delicate. They were just too easy. Like I had cassettes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had a ton of cassettes. That wasn't like I didn't have. And then singles. Remember singles, where they had like 2 songs on them. Yeah, I know. Remember? Yeah, I'm. 8-tracks. Oh my gosh, my sisters, we did the 8-track thing. Oh God, they were so annoying in the middle of the song. Like they're just not okay. Yes, we had a Barry Manilow 8-track. But it was a big deal when we got an 8-track player. My sister got her stereo with the 8-track player, but then it wasn't the way we realized that 8-tracks were not the way to go. So,
I totally lost track of who asked it.
oh,
Somebody asked, what was your first vinyl record?
oh, first vinyl record. My first vinyl record. Okay, I'm probably my first vinyl records were probably like my Sesame Street records, my Monster records, my Mr. Rogers records. But my first purchased, like with my own money, my own birthday money, I think, was Barbara Mandrell's. It was either her Moods album or there's two albums that I think I got close to the same time. It was either Moods, and I can't remember. One I think had Sleepin' Single in it. No, that was later. I can't remember even what was on the names of the songs. I can remember the album covers like totally. I can't remember what's on it. One was called Moods, and I can't remember what the other one was called. I think that was the first vinyl records that I purchased with my own money. Yeah, I was very young. And that's what I went for, was Barbara Mandrell. I love Barbara Mandrell. Like, what? Oh, she has some great freaking songs. Like, she had this this variety show, probably on near the time that Lawrence Welk was on. And I loved watching that show. Barbara Mandrell and her sisters Louise and Erlene. I always felt bad because I thought Erlene got really the short end of the stick. She always was. They always treated her. They always made fun of her. I always thought that was bad and sad. My first CD was either, I think it was Culture Club, their greatest. No, yeah, I think it was their greatest hits. One of their greatest hits album. It was, and I think I bought that, and I think I bought Martika at like the same time. Martika's first album. Remember Martika? Toy Soldier. She had another fast song those are my favorite Martika song. Actually, probably my favorite Martika song is the one with Prince. Where's Andy Meyer when I need him? Can't think of the name of the song. It was a really cool song. That's probably like one of my favorite, and it was not played enough. See, I can't remember the names. It's horrible. I can hear the song in my head. I just can't pull the lyrics out. Yep, it's not coming to me. But Martika did a song with Prince. It was amazing. But I loved that album. Oh my God, I did have that album on CD and cassette. or CD, I'm sorry. CD and I actually think I did have that one on CD and cassette. I think I spoke correctly. Yeah. So, all right. Are we closing?
I don't know.
Closing down?
We have enough questions to keep going forever.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know.
Well, we can keep some for next time.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have Liliac stuff to talk about, but we can talk about other stuff too. So, do we have questions that are gone unanswered? Is that what you're saying? Just a few. Okay. Okay. All right. Anything by somebody that hasn't asked a question yet? Okay. Well, we'll do those. We'll keep those, right? Okay. They will find their way into a live stream or a video or something. Cool. All right. Should we head to calling it a night?
I think so.
All right. Also, so we're doing this. We started at 7. 7 p.m. I love your feedback on when doing a live stream is good, and I know it all depends on where people are at and stuff like that, but I still wouldn't mind the feedback. 7 o'clock, I just copied Papa Liliac. If it's good enough for the Liliac folks, I can do it too. So that's kind of how we picked our time, was just what we were seeing him do. And so I don't know if that's good for people. I mean, it's good for us because it's kind of convenient, but we could do it like at 8 o'clock. And I know there's people on the other side of the world, and it would be fun. I wish I had somebody who knew Indonesian because I'd love to do like and other languages from the other side of the world because I would love to do a morning um, one and be able to connect with folks that can't be here at night. So I don't know how that would work, but it'd be kind of fun anyway. So anyway, I'd love ideas of what we can do on live streams too. If these become a regular thing, which I have no idea what the future looks like because I can hardly believe that I'm here and that all of you showed up, and I'm truly touched that you have more than 5 minutes to spend and ask questions. So thank you so much for being here. This has been really, really fun. I'd love to do it, and we might do it differently where we can actually have people on, because I think that would be really fun. It would be fun to actually like put a face to a name and a voice to a name. So that's something in the future. This is just kind of our maiden voyage of how does this work? How do we do this? What can we do? How can we make it easy? How do we make it work well and have it turn out good? So, oh, yay. Oh, thank you. Yay, yay, yay. Awesome. All right. I'm glad you guys had a good time. This has been really so much fun. I'd love, again, it would be more fun to have like your feedback. So I love your comments that come back about things that that we've talked about, because that's a good way to conversate. It's so much fun, and I love hearing your feedback, and I love your comments, and it's fun connecting with you guys. It really, really is. It's fun putting the videos together, and then it's fun to get to the comments and hear a little about you guys. And so thank you so much for being here. It's just really, really neat. And this has been really, really fun. And I hope to do it again, and I hope to do it bigger and better. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, look forward to having you guys on and seeing you face to face, screen to screen, because that would be really fun. So, all right. Well, until we meet again in whatever way that is, I look forward to seeing you on the YouTubes. I look forward to seeing you guys March 19th at 7 p.m. Central Time after the Liliac show. Don't hesitate to throw thoughts and questions about that as well. T-shirts are ordered and on the way, so I'm super excited. I'll have something to wear. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm so excited that you were here, and it's just means so much. Thank you. We'll see you later. And as always, enjoy the music. Bye. See you soon.